It's now time to honor the recipient of the Carroll H. Dunn Award for 2015. At this time, if Jim and Danny could join me up here. So Carroll H. Dunn was the project director for the CII project, which led to the creation of CII in 1983. He had a highly decorated career in the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, retiring with the rank of Lieutenant General. In 1980, Carroll began full-time work on the CII project and later worked with Dr. Tucker and 23 charter companies in the establishment of CII. He was so instrumental in the formation of CII that CII established the Carroll H. Dunn Award of Excellence in 1985 to honor an individual for significant achievements in improving the safety, the cost, the schedule, the quality of the engineering construction industry. General Dunn was the first award winner of his namesake award. The criteria for the Dunn Award includes significant contributions to the industry, demonstration of the highest degree of personal dedication to improving safety, cost, schedule, and quality, the level of knowledge and breadth of experience that distinguish a recipient as an eminent authority, a leadership position in the industry from which others can be influenced both by example and by direction, and a record of accomplishment that brings added distinction to him or herself, his or her organization, and the industry. Past recipients of the award include Charlie Brown from DuPont, Jim Browse from Shell, Ted Kennedy from BE&K, I won't read them all, John Morris from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, Ed Morrow from IPA, Dr. Tucker himself, Jim Porter, H.B. Zachary, Art Fox, Alan Beckman, Dan Halpin, who's with us tonight, Ralph Peterson, Charlie Thornton, Stephen Ayers, architect of the Capitol, Bud Ahern, J.J. Suarez, and last year's award winner, Jan Tuckman, the editor-in-chief of Engineering News Record. And now it's my pleasure to invite Jan to the podium to introduce our 2015 Carroll H. Dunn Award of Excellence recipient.
I'm not from the South, but I will say, all this fuss over the stool for little old me. Now here's what I was supposed to say. Good evening. It's my privilege and pleasure to be with you here in Boston tonight to introduce the 2015 recipient of the Carroll H. Dunn Award of Excellence. It's a thrill to be with you. It was a thrill to be with you last year, and it is a thrill to be with you this year. Last year was in Indianapolis to join that amazing lineup of former winners. Over the past year, with the beautiful award on my desk, I have explained many times to visitors and colleagues how stunned I was to read the inscription for outstanding contributions to the cost effectiveness of the U.S. construction industry. Wow. It's a wonderful recognition that Engineering News Record has been achieving its mission to help construction professionals do their jobs more effectively. If our work can lead to greater cost effectiveness, this is what it's all about. My script says that now the drums roll. Do we have a drum? The CII Executive Committee has selected Craig Martin as the 29th recipient of the Carroll H. Dunn Award of Excellence. Here's Craig's story. He was born in Dodge City, Kansas, the eldest of 3 brothers. Craig grew up in a family that valued hard work, integrity, and intellectual curiosity. His mother, an elementary school teacher, gave him a sense of wonder about the world. His dad, a painting contractor, took him on job sites and introduced him to our industry. Working for his dad in high school, Craig fell in love with building and the feeling of what he accomplished on a construction site. At the University of Kansas, halfway into his first surveying course, the hook was set. He got a bachelor's degree in civil engineering in 1971 and joined the Martin K. Eby Construction Company, where, in addition to construction experience, he met his wife, Diane. They married in 1977. When Diane graduated from law school, they moved to Denver, where she began to build her practice, and Craig continued his career as a project manager at Eby. He also earned an MBA from the University of Denver. From Eby Company, Craig moved to CRSS, where he served as Executive VP for CRSS Constructors. In 1989, Craig became Senior Vice President for Project Development for the Independent Power Branch of CRSS and moved to Houston. Jacobs acquired the firm in 1994, and Craig was assigned to Jacobs' acquisition team. He rose from Vice President to Executive Vice President, and then moved up the chain, again to Company President. In 2006, Craig was named CEO of Jacobs. He recently retired after nearly a decade of service in that position. Craig often tells aspiring industry professionals to follow a growth path, not a career path. We can see that Craig has done exactly that. By following his instincts to pursue interesting and fulfilling work from project management to project development to operations to business development, Craig became the kind of experienced and knowledgeable person needed to lead Jacobs' entire enterprise. One of his passions is safety. You can't forget his keynote at the 2010 CII Annual Conference, Beyond Zero, Changing How We Feel About Safety. Craig believes we must go beyond the objective approach to safety to address the subjective side. At the center of this approach is each person's heart. We must create a culture of caring about each other to achieve accident-free workplaces. Craig cites the creation of a culture of caring at Jacobs as one of his most outstanding accomplishments. Craig has devoted his life to the construction industry. He leaves a legacy of leadership, hard work, and caring. It is with the greatest pleasure that CII honors him as the 29th recipient of the Carroll H. Dunn Award of Excellence. Come on up, Craig.
Thank you very much.
Do this now. Let's do it. So, there you go. Jan,
Jan?
you need to come up
Oh,
here.
yeah, please.
This wouldn't be a photo without Jan.
I want you
Yes,
in
you
the
do.
Absolutely. Your first reaction to something like what Jan had to say is, wow, I'd really like to meet that person. So if he's in the audience, could he come up and join me here? Your second reaction is a little bit like Richard's, which is, all of you nice people would really like to get out of here, and I'm kind of in the way of dessert and after dinner drinks and getting away. So I'll try to keep my comments short. I don't know, I was told 5 to 8 minutes, which I mean, you can double that and it's okay, right? I guess I can't say enough about how important Diane has been to me in my career, and I just want to give her a minute's credit for the contribution that a great partner makes in contributing to how you're able to influence the people around you. So I just want to take a second to give her credit. But for the rest of my brief talk, I'm going to do what I always do, and I'm going to hijack this wonderful audience to talk about safety. Because I stood in front of many of you in 2010 and talked about Beyond Zero and talked about the idea of a culture of caring. I think we all shared our disappointment at that time that the total recordable incident rate for the industry, and more specifically for CII, had gone flat. And we talked a lot, I think, at those times about how the possibility was there that we would just continue, even if we made incremental improvements, we would just continue to hurt people and hurt people and hurt people. I am really pleased to say that has changed. And we have seen significant improvement in the CII, recordable incident rate, and the numbers are roughly half what they were when I last spoke about this subject in this group. And I think you all should really take to heart what it has meant to accomplish that, what it has meant to reduce the injuries in our industry by half from 2010 to 2013, which is when my data is. That's pretty awesome. But it's still not zero. And in fact, we continue to be in the danger that we have always been, that it's so good, we think it's good enough. I was thinking about the statistics in another way the other night. I thought about, if you have, say, a 0.33 recordable incident rate, and you have roughly 6 people on your team, your whole team with CII level of performance today could work for 50 years and no one have an injury. What happens to the attitude, the thought process that goes with working with your team for 50 years and no one gets hurt? I mean, you're in danger of beginning to think there's no risk. And I think that's the challenge that faces us now. We can't let our people think there's no risk, because that's what bites you. It's that risk awareness that I think could be hugely important to our people in the future if we really do want to see zero, if we really want to do what we can and put an end to injury. 16 fatalities in the CII member companies in 2013. 796 fatalities in the construction industry. So no matter how much better we're doing, it's not as good as it has to be. I heard a story from a guy one time that I've really taken on, and I think it tells us a little bit about what our danger is today. So think about jaywalking. When you cross the street, I hope you don't, but if you did cross the street, in the middle of the street, you're going to be faced with a very high awareness that you're now doing something dangerous. And so you're looking at traffic, you're watching, you're worrying about what's going on around you. If you follow the rules, though, and you go to the intersection and you wait for the little white walking man to appear on the light and you proceed across, you believe that you're in a safe environment. Just like those people who've worked on that team for 50 years. But the fact of the matter is, you're still every bit as much at risk, because you're still relying on everybody else to follow the rules and nothing bad to happen, and your risk awareness has gone to zero. We have to keep our risk awareness in our team, in our people, in each other at that elevated level if we're going to get to zero. We can't think about the fact that no one's been hurt in 50 years. We have to think about the fact that somebody could be hurt today, this hour, this minute. And that goes back to caring about each other. And it goes back to keeping that awareness of risk at its highest possible level. That's what'll get us to zero. I think this group of people can do that. I'm honored that you honored me. I don't feel at all deserving, I have to say, but I do believe all of us can continue to contribute to keeping our folks safe, and in a powerful, powerful way. It's the first thing on that list of what's important, between safety and schedule and cost. Safety comes first. Safety has to come first. But this awareness is the only way we'll get to zero. And I encourage every one of you to drive it into the organizations and the people that are around you. Thank you much for this great honor. I really appreciate it.